Stop playing. Let go of me. Let go of me.
Though everyone is talking about Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris, two of the most contentious personalities in love and hip-hop history, have just been blacklisted from reality TV, that is right after years of drama betrayals and headline-producing events. Their days in the spotlight have come to a shocking and unexpected halt. But why? What truly occurred behind the scenes that drove producers to make this bold decision? Sources say it all started with an explosion backstage. Before anybody knew it, fists were flying, and now after years of being reality TV royalty, Kirk and Mex are supposedly done for good. Quarrel one so intense, so chaotic that security couldn't even contain the situation. Cameras were rolling tempers. Cameras no more confessionals. Rather, they are a cold hard truth they never saw coming. But wait on there. This is more than just what is being reported. This is really about one fight, or was there something far greater brewing behind the scenes? Betrayals, alliances, and surprising disclosures. This scandal is deeper than anybody thought. Stay tuned, because we're about to pull it all down. No, none saw it coming, not like this. The hatred between Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris had been seething beneath the surface for weeks, but none anticipated it to boil over into anarchy. What started as benign shadow changed into a career-ending brawl, one that would shatter the entire Love and Hip Hop brand to its foundation. It all went down at a private closed door after show taping, where cast members were supposed to vent off complaints, disagreements before the official reunion show. No cameras, no pressure, just a chance to clear the air. At least that was the objective. However, when you mix egos, grudges, and reality TV stars hungry for drama in the same room, it's only a matter of time before anything remarkable occurrences. That night, Kirk and MC had never been close, but there was mutual respect until recently. Rumors of M's having been talking irresponsibly behind Kirk's back, labeling him a washed-up, have been swirling about, only noteworthy because of Rashid's hustling. At first, Kirk disregarded it. After all, Love and Hip Hop grew on drama, and loose lips were nothing new. But after other people came out stating that guys, these C's had gone things even further, Kirk could not ignore it anymore. The whispers turned into ends. Reportedly told producers that Kirk was desperate to start foamy beef solely to continue on the show. Becky was a liability, bringing nothing new to the franchise, only old controversies and tire trouble for Kirk. That was personal. He had the nerve to pretend, "I'm the one holding the show back." Kirk reportedly raged at cast members before the fight. This man barely came out of prison, and now he thinks he's controlling everything. It wasn't just ego, it was about respect. And Kirk wasn't about to let someone like Mesh trash his heritage. Inside sources say that Kirk approached MC's aside before the reunion recording, expecting to settle matters man to man, but MC's wasn't backing down. "If you worry about what I'm saying, maybe you should fix what's broken," MC's allegedly told Kirk, his tone dripping with arrogance. Kirk's face twisted, his jaw clenched, and that was all it needed. What started as a heated disagreement grew into a full-blown screening brawl, with cast members and producers in complete surprise. "You were guest on this program. I built this before you ever got here," Kirk snapped, pointing a finger at Mendeecees. He just laughed, a slow, mocking laugh that sent Kirk over the edge. Before security could even react, Kirk shoved M's hard, sending him stumbling back into a chair. That was the moment everything spiraled out of control. M's went forward, grabbing Kirk's shirt, and in seconds, punches were flying, chairs smashed, glasses shattered. Cast members shouted, security raced in trying to separate them, but both men were seeing red. Yandy Smith, Mendeecees' wife, was crying at him to stop, while Rashida was desperately trying to pull Kirk away. But it was too late. The damage was already done. The worst part, it was all caught on camera. Someone in the room had picked out their phone the second things started becoming tight, and the instant Kirk and M threw hands, the footage was already traveling like wildfire. Within minutes, clips started circulating on social media. Fans were enraged, comments were coming in, and the Love and Hip Hop production crew was in full panic mode. "This ain't standard reality TV drama," one producer reportedly stated. "This is career-ending." The fight was so furious, so nasty, the producers had no alternative But to shut down production immediately, Kirk was led into one room furious and still fuming. Mez was in another, his face twisted with rage, and behind the scenes the managers were already reaching a decision that nobody predicted, because while fights were usual in reality TV, what had just transpired went too far. It was too dangerous, too raw, too harmful. And before the night was even ended, an emergency meeting had been called. Dubbed the verdict, Kirk Frost and Mendeecees were about to get slapped with the worst penalty of their careers, and this time there was no turning back. The fallout from the brawl was immediate and brutal. Within hours, the Love and Hip Hop production crew had a dilemma on their hands, and it wasn't just about broken chairs and shattered Evos. The network executives weren't just furious, they were livid. Fights had happened before. Sure, reality TV live on drama, and a little pushing and shoving was inevitable. But this was different. This was two veteran cast members throwing down in a way that could have led to significant injuries. And worst, it had already been leaked. The video was everywhere. Fans had already scrutinized every second of the clip. Watching the moment, Kirk shoved Ems, the way Ems lunged at him, the sounds of glass breaking in the background, and the reactions explosion. Social media was in a frenzy. Never thought I'd see the day. Kirk and Mendeecees pinned to a full-on battle. Love and Hip Hop will never be the same. This fight was wild. Mendeecees straight up snapped, if Kirk and Mendeecees get thrown off the show for this, I'm done watching. Fans were divided. Some supported Kirk's side, declaring Mendeecees had no right to be talking down on a Love and Hip Hop OG. Others were Team Mendeecees, arguing that Kirk had no business putting his hands on someone first. But there was one thing everyone agreed on: this was one of the biggest crises in the franchise's history, and the executives, they weren't just worried about the public reaction, they were worried about their reputation. The fight had gone beyond what they could spin into excellent TV. There were legal issues. Sponsors were growing nervous. If they let Kirk and Mendeecees stay, it would send the wrong message. That's when the choice was made. By the next morning, both Kirk and Mendeecees got the call. They were officially removed from Love and Hip Hop. No warning, no second chances, just gone. Kirk was astonished. This ain't real, he reportedly told Rashida, pacing back and forth in their Atlanta residence. They ain't never done nothing like this before. They need me. I've been here since the beginning. But Rashida knew better. She had seen this coming. Kirk, you quit your hands on Ems, she told him, and it got out. They had no choice. Kirk wasn't trying to hear it. In his mind, he wasn't just another cast member. He was Love and Hip Hop royalty. He had been on the show for over a decade, created his brand, earned money moves, and now they were tossing him aside like he was nothing. But Mendeecees had his own difficulties to deal with. When he got the phone, he was sitting in his living room with Yandy. The second he heard the words, "We're letting you go," his whole body stiffened. Nah, that's not happening, he murmured, shaking his head. I bring too much to this program. They need me. However, Yandy, she wasn't ready to let this pass. So that's it, she snapped, grabbing her phone. They're simply going to chuck you out. After all, after we brought Stel or Ians to this show, she wasn't inaccurate. Yandy and Mendeecees had carried countless seasons. Their relationship, his legal fights, their troubles as a family, it had all been prime reality TV gold. But none of it mattered now. I told you not to let him get to you, Yandy whispered, rubbing her temples. And now look, we're done. The phone calls kept flooding. Blogs were picking up the story. Other cast members were weighing in. And soon enough, it wasn't only about the brawl. New allegations starting emerging was Kirk Frost and Mendeecees. Harris Blake T from all reality TV experts indicated that various networks were now afraid to deal with them. Some execs felt they were too much of a liability, and with how quickly things had escalated, nobody wanted to take that risk. One producer even told the source, "We can't have another situation like this. If Kirk and Mendeecees couldn't keep it professional, how can we trust them on another show?" It was like the domino effect. Sponsorship deals on hold, potential spin-offs vetoed. Their entire reality TV careers were now hanging by a thread. But Kirk and they weren't going down without a fight. Mendeecees phoned up his legal team. He wanted to know whether he could fight the decision, suing for wrongful termination or at least gain some type of payment. Kirk, on the other hand, was thinking bitter. If they think I'm just simply going to depart, they have another thing coming. Kirk reportedly informed a friend, "I built my brand. I don't need Love and Hip Hop. I'll make my own moves. And just like that, the fight wasn't just between them anymore, it was between them and the entire Love and Hip Hop empire. But could they truly bounce back after this? Or was this the end of Kirk and MC's reality TV careers for good? The aftermath of Kirk and MDC's firing sent shockwaves across the entertainment industry. Both men were not just reality TV stars, they were staples of the genre, deeply sewn into the fabric of Love and Hip Hop. The program had elevated them into household names, and now they were being shown the door. But neither Kirk nor Mendeecees was ready to let go of their fame quietly. They weren't about to be erased from reality TV history. Kirk, ever the businessman, quickly got to work. He knew the power of public perception. And if he was going to rescue his career, he had to control the narrative. Instead of retreating from the spotlight, Kirk made sure the public received his side of the problem. Within days of this firing, he came down for an exclusive interview with the major blog, explaining the event from his viewpoint. Listen, Kirk began looking directly into the camera. What occurred between me and MCs was unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I was defending my honor. You don't come at me like that, especially on my own turf. I've been with Love and Hip Hop from day one, and I've put in the work. For them to simply cut me off like that, it's nasty. He wasn't just upset about the argument. Kirk felt betrayed by the very show he had helped develop, a show that had showcased his highs and lows, his family difficulties, his business ventures. Now, with one dreadful moment, all of it seemed to be gone. But Kirk wasn't going to let that be the end of story. I'm not done, he promised his followers. They might have slammed the door on me, but trust me, I've got plenty of other doors I can open. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was dealing with his own whirlwind. His firing from Love and Hip Hop had wounded him hard, but he wasn't ready to lie down and take it like Kirk. Mendeecees realized that controlling the narrative was key, so he too sought out to the media. But his strategy was different. Rather than concentrating on the fight, Mendeecees exploited his platform to talk about his tale. I've gone through a lot. He began in an emotional Instagram live session. From my legal battles to my time away from my family, I've always addressed difficulties head-on. This is just another obstacle. But I'll tell you this, I don't regret sticking up for myself. I've always been about respect, and I won't let anyone insult me on or off camera. Yandy, of course, was at his side, her face a mask of control fury. She was indignant, furious even, but she also knew how the game worked. She had been in reality TV long enough to comprehend that sometimes you have to take the hits and bounce back stronger. Believe me, you all ain't seen the last of May. She told their followers during the live session, he's been through worse than this, and we always come out on top. Behind closed doors, Mendeecees wasn't as sure being cut. Removed from Love and Hip Hop was more than just a business blow, it was emotional. He had poured years of his life into the program, exposed his soul on camera, and now with one mistake, it seemed like all of that was being torn away. Man, I don't know if we're going to bounce back from this, Mendeecees revealed to Yandy one evening, the weight of the issue finally hitting him. This is our bread and butter. Without Love and Hip Hop, what's left? Yandy wasn't one to wallow in self-pity, as she was already thinking about their next move. We'll make something happen. She soothed him. We've got our own brand now. The fans love us, not just the program. We'll figure it out. But the real blow came when news began to leak that not only had Kirk and M's been fired, they were being blacklisted from reality TV totally. It started with whispers circulating in entertainment circles that no other reality program wanted to approach them at first. It appeared like just another piece of hearsay. Nevertheless, as the days went on, the rumors gained momentum. Sources from several networks confirmed that Kirk and Mendeecees were now viewed too dangerous to cast. It's not only about the fight. One insider claimed reality TV thrives on drama, but this went too far. No one wants to deal with the potential legal breakout or the concern that they'll lose control again. For Kirk, the news hit like a punch to the gut. Getting booted from Love and Hip Hop was bad enough, but being banned, that was a career death sentence. Without reality TV, Kirk's brand would lose visibility, and with that, his influence and cash would dry up. I ain't about to be no has, Kirk told Rashida one night, annoyance obvious in his voice. They think they can just blackball me. No, I've built too much to let it all crumble. Rashida, ever the calm in Kirk's storm, tried to reassure him. We'll figure something out, honey. You've got too much hustle in you to allow this be the end. But Kirk wasn't convinced. He knew the truth of the issue without TV staying relevant would be an uphill battle. He was a businessman, but his name and face were what kept his ventures afloat. Without that exposure, all could break apart. On the other side of the country, Mendeecees was feeling the pressure too. His phone had gone eerily silent. Chances that had once came flowing in were now drying up. Brands weren't reaching out. His social media engagement was plunging. It was if the fight had triggered an industry-wide freeze out. "We need to do something soon," Mendeecees said. Yandy, the exasperation clear in his voice. "I'm not about to be banned. This ain't how my story ends." Yandy, ever the strategist, already had a plan. "We'll build our own possibilities," she added confidently. "If they don't want us on their shows, we'll develop our own show. We don't need them. We've got the fan base. We've got the following. Let's do this ourselves." Unfortunately, despite their bold words, both Kirk and Mendeecees recognized they were facing a U-post struggle. Being blacklisted was no little thing in the world of reality TV. It wasn't just about not getting cast on shows, it was about being blocked out from an entire industry. And as the days went into weeks, the severity of the situation only became worse. They had built their lives around the fame and riches of reality TV. Now, they were facing the very real threat that it might all come falling down. Could they truly bounce back, or had the conflict between them marked the end of their reality TV reign? The stillness was deafening. Kirk Frost and Mendeecees, two of the biggest personalities in love and hip-hop, were now facing the harsh reality of being blacklisted. The industry that had lived on their drama, their arguments, and their tales had abruptly turned its back on them. No more producers calling for confessional interviews, no more cameras following their every move, no more enormous checks from reality TV. At first, both men refused to believe it. They had been through ups and downs before: public scandals, infidelity claims, business failures. Yet they had always come back. This time, though, something seemed different for Kirk. The conclusion came when he started reaching out to other reality programs, trying to gain a spot on another franchise. He had connections in the industry, individuals he had worked with for years. Surely someone would give him a chance. But every chat ended the same way: "Buddy, I could assist you," one producer said, his voice thick with regret. "But the network doesn't want that sort of heat right now. The fight was too much. Nobody wants the blowback." It wasn't just about the fight anymore. It was about reputation. Kirk wasn't only seen as a reality star who had been involved in an allocation. He was now labeled as too risky, too volatile, and worst of all, awful for business. Rashida felt the shift in him immediately. Her husband, the man who had established himself into a reality TV veteran, now spent his days pacing the home, his phone connected to his hand, waiting for a call that never came. "We can make this work, baby." Rashida tried to encourage him. "One evening you had Frost Bistro, you got the clothing businesses." Kirk cut her off, shaking his head. "That's not the point, Rashida. This is what I do. This is who I am. If they shut me out, how do I stay relevant? How do we keep the brand alive?" Rashida didn't have an answer. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was dealing with his own troubles, while Yandy was busy planning, trying to convert their personal brand into something bigger. Mendeecees found himself in an uncomfortable place. Uncertainty. He had built his existence on the hustle, on making moves and staying ahead. But now it felt like every door was being banged shut before he could even knock. Yandy wasn't one to sit around and wait for possibilities to come to them. If the business didn't want them, they would establish their own platform. She started reaching out to streaming services, independent production businesses, even social media networks. "We don't need VH1, she told Mendeecees confidently. "We can take this to YouTube, to Z Network, to 2B, wherever we want. We own our brand. We don't need their cameras. We can hire our own." Ems wanted to believe her, but he wasn't convinced. "It's not the same, Yandy. If we ain't on TV, are people even going to care?" Yandy's confidence never was they'll care because we make them care. We just have to give them something they can't ignore. Meantime, the fallout from the blacklist was spreading. Fans were furious. Social media exploded with disputes about whether Kirk and Mendeecees deserved to be blacklisted or if they were being unfairly punished. They built love and hip-hop. One fan wrote, "Now they're simply getting cast aside like they never mattered. Yeah, that ain't right." But others weren't as sympathetic. They understood what they were doing. Another user said, "This ain't some regular drama. They battled on set. What did they expect? The response wasn't only online. Former cast members, reality TV veterans, even producers were winning, and Stevie J, another Love and Hip Hop alone, made it clear where he stood. Guy, I've been in this game for years, and let me tell you, there's a line you don't cross. Kirk and Mez, they crossed it, but other weren't so sure. They want us to act up on TV, a foreigner cast member observed in a podcast interview. That's what draws in views, but the second it gets too real, suddenly we're too much. No, that's some nonsense. Despite the public outrage, the decision from the network stood solid. Kirk and Mez were out, and there were no second chances. That's when Kirk decided he wasn't going out without a fight, a legal fight. He had been in the entertainment industry long enough to know his rights. If the network wanted to blacklist him, fantastic, but they owed him. This ain't just about a fight, Kirk informed his lawyer. This is about my legacy. They used me for years. They earned money off my name now. They simply want to delete me. Nah, they owe me. The Leo struggle wasn't just about Kirk's contract. He claimed damages. He wanted recompense for the years he had devoted to the franchise, for the reputation he had earned, only to be tossed like trash. MCs, on the other hand, was torn. He wasn't the type to sue. He had gone through the legal system before, and he didn't want to go back down that road. But he also understood Kirk had a point. They had put everything to the program, and now they were being left with nothing. When the lawsuit went public, the industry erupted. This is a game changer. One media insider said, if Steve K wins, this could create a whole new norm for reality TV stars. It's all power about control. These networks own their talent, but Kirk's fighting back. Yet with the lawsuit come consequences. Now Kirk and Mendeecees weren't just blacklisted, they were radioactive. No network, no brand, no company wanted to be affiliated with them. While they were in litigation, Rashida attempted to calm Kirk down. Honey, maybe we should just leave it, go focus on our businesses, move on. But Kirk wasn't listening. I'm not letting them win, Rashida. I'm fighting this till the end. Yandy, on the other hand, saw the broader picture. She knew Mendeecees didn't want to get caught up in lawsuits and legal drama. So she made a bold move, a reality TV comeback on their own terms. She went out to producers pulling favors, and very long the plan was in motion. A new program, independent, uncut, raw. Kirk and Mendeecees might have been blacklisted from Love and Hip Hop, but it didn't mean they were done. The question now was, will the fans follow them, or was this truly the end of the road? The drama isn't over yet, and you already know the story is far from concluded. Kirk Frost and Mendeecees could have been blacklisted, but will they really stay gone? Will Kirk's lawsuit rock up the reality TV world, and can Yami's bold action push them back into the spotlight on their own terms? Fans are divided. The industry is watching, and one thing is obvious: the scandal is just getting started. What do you think? Should Kirk and Mendeecees be given another shot, or did they go things too far? And will their independent comeback honestly succeed? Or is this truly the end of their reality TV careers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on all the spectacular twists, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and switch on notifications so you never miss an update. This story is expanding swiftly, and trust me, you won't want to miss what occurs next.